We never did have more than 2.5 to 3 days of drying weather, and so the straw never did dry enough that we could put it through the combine.
Horrible weather, bringing one hurdle after the next, meaning Ernest Wiebe could never get ahead.
What we have here is an unharvested crop of peas, and due to the excessive moisture through this summer, it caused the peas to continue to grow and not wanting to mature. For me, it was all my pea crops, so I have very close to 700 acres, almost 800 acres of peas that ended up unharvested, like this particular field here.
He wrote off most of his peas with production insurance, but it was nowhere near enough.
Our profit margins aren't that high, so we actually end up losing out on profit even when we do receive the production insurance. Right. So we're still unable to save up for next year's input costs.
Wet soil caused deep ruts in his fields.
Like I say, these are all iced over right now because they were all filled with water from this fall. None of this is covered by insurance. This is an element where a farmer has taken desperate measures to take the crop off, to try and realize some income out of it, and then it's more or less a thought of see what happens for next year.
The ruts forced Wiebe to buy new tracks for his combines. The cost, $75,000.
I actually only was able to put on about 30 hours on them, and the rest of my crop, of course, is still laying out there. And yeah, now we wonder, did we even make the right choice? So if there was some sort of a compensation for covering up those ruts and so forth, that would be of a great help.
Despite the difficulties, Wiebe believes there's a way out. Right now, only 80% of crops are covered through BC's production insurance. He says it's the system that needs an overhaul.
The average individual that buys fire insurance for their house, and if their house were to burn down and they only received 80% of the value of their house, we would say, well, that would be ludicrous, that something's wrong with this picture.
Wiebe wants to see 100% coverage and changes to determining which crops are lost. Without them, he warns the future could be bleak.
One of my fears is that a lot of the young people who are trying to start farming are finding it very difficult. They are not established yet. They probably are going to be unable to put in a crop next year.
He hopes these changes would help out in the distant future, but in the short term, Wiebe expects 2019 struggles to impact farmers for the next several years. Christian Davino, CJDC-TV News.
Salon and barber services provided by Skinovations. Be swept away to a world of peace and tranquility at Skinovations Salon and Day Spa.